Please beat one of the most difficult sections in a Super Mario World Kaizo ROM hack, and I wanted to talk about it for a second. It's not what you're currently looking at. This is actually right before the section, but I need time to set up what's happening in the level so that you can have a better understanding of what's actually going on. The first thing is that Mario can't swim, and also Mario can't jump. So the only way to get vertical height is to bounce off of something, and then once you do, your height is controlled by the up and down buttons on your D-pad. The other thing to know is that as soon as we enter this next room, the very frame the level loads, there's going to be a water current that starts moving through the level that we need to use to progress. The problem is that this water current has a very set path that will never slow down or speed up to match our speed, which is going to be a huge problem, which you're going to see here in a second. So once we enter, we immediately have to start zooming right and bouncing off of these Koopas to make it up past here before the water starts pulling us left. The water current's going to pull us in all directions, and we need to make sure that we're synced up with the level when that happens. So right here, we're going to grab a shell, and we have to instinctively know when the current's going to start pulling us in the other direction so we can get this shell jump. In this section, the water current is pulling you directly down, trying to clip you through the wigglers to kill you, and your goal is to stay above them. The problem is bouncing off these wigglers causes variance in your jump height and speed, which will affect the currents for the rest of the level. Now I'm actually going to pause here so I can explain this end section so you can have a really good understanding of why it's so unbelievably messed up. The first main obstacle here is this gray platform. In order to get past it, we have to instinctively know when the current is going to start dropping us down, because we need to get forward momentum so we can just eke underneath this death block, because the problem is as soon as the platform starts to fall, it's going to ascend us into the water, and we need to be far enough left before that happens so we can clear all of the death blocks. The second problem is we need to land on that fish to the right. In order to do that, we have to first bounce off of the fish to the left by holding the up button for a very specific number of frames, and then holding the right button to prevent the current from pushing us directly left into the death blocks. And then from that point, we literally just have to guess when the fish is going to line up correctly with us, because there's no way to know before we start holding left to run into it. And if we do it correctly, we're gonna run, bounce off the fish, and then get propelled up with the current, which is gonna start pulling us left and then immediately right. And then based on the speed and distance that we get from bouncing off this fish is going to determine the kind of inputs that we need to do at this point in order to get to the pipe. And here's what it looks like when you finally nail it after being in the same part of the level for 16 hours.